Hey Glams, welcome to Glamour and Brains. I'm your host Ade Hassan. This show features all things beauty, fashion, and business. I'm going to be bringing you all things glamour. And of course, with glamour, you have to have brains. Are you ready to make as much money as you want from the comforts of your home or from anywhere in the world? Well, join the Simple Beauty Naturals family by starting your own Simple Beauty Naturals franchise. Make incredible unlimited income with natural vegetarian skincare products that won't kill you. Simple Beauty Naturals is the gold standard skincare and cosmetic system, and our franchisees are gold standard certified beauty consultants. Go to www.simplebeautynaturals.com to apply to be one of our franchisees. You deserve to live the life you want. And now, today's episode of Glamour and Brains. Glams, welcome to the show. And oh my goodness, such a fabulous show this is going to be so fabulous. I interviewed Ade Hassan from the beautiful lingerie company Nubian Skin. If you are on social media, you more than likely have heard of Nubian Skin. Very, very beautiful nude lingerie for women of color. And if you are a woman of color, you know how rare it is to be able to find nude lingerie in your shade. Well, Nubian Skin has really resolved that issue with their beautiful lingerie. But listen, I have a fantastic giveaway for you. Fantastic giveaway. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get a gift certificate to Nubian Skin so you can grab some lingerie for yourself and your color, and you're also going to get a tube of Simple Beauty Naturals beautiful nude lipstick, Naked Beach, 100% vegan, and it's beautiful on all skin types. So again, the giveaway is beautiful nude lingerie from Nubian Skin and a tube of Simple Beauty Naturals beautiful Naked Beach lipstick. We call them lip crystals, and oh my goodness, it is fabulous. Do you know how stunning you're going to be when you have your lingerie and your beautiful nude lipstick? Okay, this is what you have to do. I want you to get out your phones, and I want you to get out your tablets and all of that good stuff, and you're going to record a 1-minute show. Well, I'm sorry, a 1-minute show. What am I thinking about? A 1-minute video about why you love the skin you're in. Just 1-minute video about why you love the skin you're in. And you're going to post it on your social media outlets, and you're going to hashtag Nubian Skin. And then you're going to hashtag Simple Beauty Naturals. Don't forget those hashtags, guys, because that's how we track who did it. And one lucky person is going to win a Naked Beach lip crystal from Simple Beauty Naturals and some lingerie from Nubian Skin. How exciting is that? Go ahead and get your phones out right now. Go ahead and get your tablets out right now and do your 1-minute video and hashtag Simple Beauty Naturals and Nubian Skin. And now, here's my interview with Ade Hassan from Nubian Skin Lingerie. Welcome to the show, Ade.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Now, tell us a little bit about Nubian Skin. Instagram is going crazy. Facebook is going crazy. So tell us a little bit about the company and yourself.
It's pretty much what it says on the tin. Nubian Skin is a brand of lingerie and hosiery for women of color. I think for essentially all of my life, and I think for most people, if you've walked into a shop and asked them for nude stockings or a nude bra, you're given something, but it isn't something that actually matches your nude. And so that was a big frustration of mine. And I've always been interested in fashion, always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And when the idea sort of came into my head, I thought, you know what, this is perfect because it's something I need, and I know it's something that so many other women need as well.
You have a background in finance and then you went into fashion. How was that transition for you?
So yeah, I mean, for most of my, for all of my working life up until Nubian Skin, I've predominantly worked in the finance industry, and so I think the one incredibly positive thing about that is it allowed me to save, to put everything into the business, but it is a bit of a shock to the system when you're used to a healthy, steady paycheck. To becoming an entrepreneur, that's it's not for the faint-hearted. But it's rewarding to be starting something of my own and to know that I've put everything I have into it. And yeah, it's been an incredible learning experience because there's just so many things that you don't realize when it comes to manufacturing and when it comes to actually having a product, because in finance, so much of it is like on computers, or you don't actually see a physical product, but this is definitely, from start to finish, you're involved in the design, the manufacturing, logistics. It's a whole new animal.
Now, you mentioned that entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, and we have a lot of entrepreneurs out here who will agree. Ade, can you go into the gritty grime of how you started the business? Because I'm a little bit confused. I think you left work for 15 months. Is that true?
I did actually. It's that was actually significantly before I started the business. I'd been working in finance for a while and thought I wanted to take some time off, and so I did. And I sort of went to study. I was living in France for a bit and was studying French, but was also taking, as I said, I'd mentioned that I was interested in fashion, so I'd taken some pattern cutting classes and sewing classes. And it was all amateur. It wasn't anything professional, but it was something that I loved and that I was interested in and passionate about. And so after that, that sort of really made me realize that I did want to focus on fashion when I did do my entrepreneurial venture, whenever that was going to be. When I came up with the idea, I was actually back in work already, because you can only take off so much time. And and then I realized, okay, you know what, I'm going to have to really focus on. I changed jobs again because I wanted to go back into finance, so that I could save for it. So the break wasn't actually quite related to the starting of the company. When I started the company, I was working full time, and then eventually phased into part time. And then last year, by the time we launched, I had pretty much gone full time onto Nubian Skin.
How was it working part time on your business and full time at your finance job? Because I have a background in finance all day,
Yeah.
and it is not a regular 9 to 5 at all.
No, it's not. And when you're doing anything that's client based, it's on the client's time, and so it was hard. I mean, it was sort of very early mornings and very late nights, and I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. But when you're that excited about something, it's almost like it takes over. You can't really control it. Because I remember I'd wake up at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and my mind would just be racing with thoughts. And I think I was just running on adrenaline. And I think that's probably something that a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to, is when you're so passionate about something and it becomes all-consuming, you sort of don't realize that you're not sleeping. You're just sort of going for it, and you're so excited to make it happen.
Yeah, you mentioned that you had to save up. Not
Yeah.
going too much into detail, but like, did you do the regular save 6 months worth of income before you start your business? What was your goal?
So I'm sort of very headstrong, and when I get an idea, I go with it. So I hadn't necessarily, planned exactly, okay, I want X months of salary. What I really needed was money to start the business, and so it was saving for that. And obviously, I also I'm incredibly fortunate that my family also invested, and so that helped as well. But we just it was enough money to start the business, and then for a while I was working part time, so I still had a partial income from my job while I was doing Nubian Skin. Um, and then for the first several months of Nubian Skin, I wasn't paying myself from the company, and even when I'd gone full time, so that was not fun. But it's my salary now is obviously a fraction of what it used to be, but hopefully one day it won't be, and this will be successful. And I think every entrepreneur knows that you have to make sacrifices, and so that's one of them. Less handbags, less designer shoes, and more work.
Now, what else outside of handbags and designer shoes have you had to sacrifice for your business?
Well, it's always been. I think when you work in finance, you probably know this. It's a nice income, and so you have a lot of disposable income to spend on anything. And it's also nice having a very healthy cushion. And now, I think most entrepreneurs can relate to this. You don't have that because you're putting everything into the business. And so it's hopefully a temporary sacrifice. But yeah, I mean, everything's been pared back, everything. I can't even begin to start going through it item by item, but I lead a much less glamorous lifestyle than I used to.
Now, have you emotionally adjusted to that?
Um, I'd like to say that I'm incredibly mature and that I've taken it all in my stride. I think in general, I've been pretty good with it. You just sort of get on with it, and you're too busy to sort of complain too much. But yeah, every now and then, when the sales are on and you're like looking longingly at something, you might have a little feel sorry for yourself moment, but then you sort of realize that it's just, yeah, you can't get caught up in that, otherwise you're doing the wrong thing, then you really shouldn't be. Yeah, you shouldn't be running a business, really, if that's the most important thing to you.
What does a day in the life of Ade look like?
It's so funny. There literally isn't one typical day, and I get asked this a lot because sometimes you're doing something incredibly great and creative, and like let's say you're coming up with the concept for a photo shoot, or you're working on a photo shoot, and those are so much fun. And then other days, like today, you're going to the bank to deposit, a check, or you're paying bills, or you're writing thank you emails. Or for instance, yesterday we had a launch event, and that was so much fun, and you're meeting incredible people, and it's all like there's so much great energy, and so yeah, it just depends every day. It's when you've got a small team and you're working on something, and it's a small business, you have to be involved in everything, whether that's making sure orders go out or responding to a customer request, or if it's speaking to people like you. Yeah, every day is just so different.
Now, you mentioned your small team, and you know what, Ade, I have to say this. When I sent that email to your website, I got an automatic response. That's like not heard of at all. So you really do have a great, great, great team. What process did you have to go through to bring all of these people together?
Well, the core team's very small, and it's it's just interviewing people and then figuring. It's always a risk, but you interview people who look like they've got the right skill set, and if there's a click, it's perfect, and it works well. And then it's just really kind of figuring out what makes people tick, and seeing how you work best together. But yeah, I know that I'm so fortunate. And then also we work with a lot of third parties. So obviously our warehousing and our picking and packing isn't done in house. We can't afford warehouse, or we can't afford to employ people full time on that. And so it's just working with other third party organizations who we trust and who really support our story and are excited about our story. Because even in our warehouse, one of the tech teams. One of the people in the tech team, when we were launching, he was like, "Oh my goodness, I've been watching you on Twitter. This is like a tech guy. Like he doesn't care about bras and anniversary." But so it's people who just are excited about us and excited about working with the new brand, and are also taking a risk because obviously when we first started and still to a degree we didn't have much of a track record, and so they were taking a risk working with us because it's an effort for them to set us up and all the rest of it. So yeah, we've just been so lucky, and I think finding people that sort of share a passion, or at least have an interest in the organization, is incredibly good.
What struggles did you have to go through to find people in manufacturing?
Um, when we I probably when I started, I was quite naive, and so I sent cold emails to lots of different manufacturers saying we're a startup, small collection, samples, da da da, which are all just probably like red flags that they just don't want to hear. They don't want to hear you're small. They don't want to hear it's a small collection, and we just didn't get responses. And so that was so frustrating for me, because it was at the point where I was so excited and had been putting so much work into it, that to not get a reaction was just heartbreaking. And so I realized pretty quickly that I didn't know the industry well enough. The lingerie industry is very small and closed, and I realized I needed expert advice. And so I found a consultant who works in the industry and has worked in the industry for years, and made her sign an NDA, and then went through my business plan. And she said, you know what, this is great. There's nothing in the market like it. You need to go to trade shows. You need to go and see what's out there, meet manufacturers, and that's what I did. And it was great, because you just sort of see so many different people. You meet different manufacturers. You get to talk about their capabilities. You just sort of start to understand more of what's out there and how it works. And so yeah, that was the process. Once we picked a manufacturer, then it took a lot of time for us to perfect the colours and make sure we got the silhouettes that we wanted. And it's an ongoing process. You're constantly listening to feedback and looking for things and trying to evolve the brand. So
You have literally blown up on social media, though. I mean, like, you have Kerry Washington retweeting you and talking about you. What did that feel like, for one?
oh, you know what? It was the most bizarre thing, because I actually am not massive on social media, and before I started the company, I didn't have an Instagram account or a Twitter account, so I was really green. And I think just before we had the photo shoot, I probably had about 50 followers on Instagram, maybe 20 followers on Twitter, most of whom were my friends, and we put up, I think, 2 shots of the photo shoot, and I went on holiday. And throughout the whole holiday, my phone kept buzzing, and I looked at my Instagram, and I had 100 followers, and I was ecstatic, because I was just like, oh my gosh, 100 people care about this. This is amazing. I don't know what's going on. By the end of the week, we had 1,000, and I started to feel really sick. You know that feeling of like something's wrong, like somebody's playing a trick on me. And I mean, it literally was like wildfire, and it was the biggest blessing I could have thought of, because we didn't have money for PR, we didn't have money for marketing, and social media just went mental. In 4 weeks, we went from 50 to 20,000 followers on Instagram, and it started trending on Twitter, and because of that, the mainstream media picked it up. So we were on BuzzFeed, we were on the Mail Online, The Independent, all sorts of magazines, and people just started talking about it. And then the Kerry Washington tweet happened, and it was a Saturday. I woke up and I looked at it, and I literally almost passed out, because I was like, "Well, what's happening? What's happening?" So yeah, it's unreal. It was a year ago. It's almost exactly a year ago now, and it was the most surreal thing. We hadn't even launched yet, but yeah, it was fantastic, because it just meant that people knew, and it kind of put us on the map, and that was great, because we couldn't have afforded to pay for that kind of publicity.
Now, did you have a a plan in place before you just went viral like that, or was it just totally by surprise?
It was completely by surprise, and it's terrible now that I look back at it and people ask me that, because I didn't have a plan, and that's awful.
You know what? Wait a minute. That's not awful at all. Because sometimes we plan and things just happen totally different from how we planned. So that's normal.
Yeah, I mean, so now I realize it was probably irresponsible that I didn't have a plan, but I just didn't know. It was all new, and yeah, so it was fantastic, fantastic.
But you know, that photo shoot was amazing. How did you put those people together? First of all, the models are gorgeous. The whole setting was just amazing. So I know that had a lot to do with it. How did you put that first photo shoot together?
Yeah, it was really fun and it was really organic and I mean, looking back at it now, I'm just like, this whole thing was just it was just so crazy. Basically, I had a casting, which I held at my house. Called up an agency, basically looked at all the women of color they had, selected them, said, please can they come in for castings. These poor models are coming into my home, and I said to them, like, this must be really strange for you to be going into somebody's house to like do a casting, but they were all really lovely, and what mattered for me was the personalities because they're models, so they're all going to be beautiful anyway. But the personality was such a big thing, and so we had the interviews, and I sort of wanted to see the chemistry. And I think you can tell when you look at the pictures, like these girls are just fun, and they were so excited about the project. And so once they were picked, then the photographer was the recommendation. It was a friend of a friend. And the makeup artist, actually our original makeup artist sadly got really ill the night before, and so it was a last minute, like everything was just sort of crazy. But the shoot location was a place in East London where I'd gone because it's very random, but they did cheap manicures, and I was there and I thought it was such a cool place. And I started talking to them and realized that they actually hired it out for photo shoots, so everything was just very it all just sort of came together. And then on the day, I think people were just so excited, and it was fun, and we had like music and everybody helping out. It was just such a good day, and I think that is reflected in the images because the location was perfect, the models were perfect, the people involved, but my hairdresser was doing the hair. I mean, it was kind of like a little bit of a celebration. So yeah, it was fun, it was great.
Beautiful. Outside of the fact that you target women of color, what sets you apart from other lingerie companies?
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously the colours are a massive thing. Um, I'd like to think that one of the other things that we do really well is just listen to feedback because, we're young and we were new and we didn't really have a rule book. So, and then also being so active on social media has helped us to really, really keep our finger on the pulse about what people want. And I think people appreciate that because we do try to get back to people, and we do, before we launched even, the feedback on the sizes was just so loud, and so we set up the More Sizes campaign, and because of that, I think people have been responsive to us because we say, what, we're not perfect yet, but we are listening to you. And I think a lot of companies are either brands, I should say, are either part of much larger companies, and so they're not, they're slower, or they're just maybe not particularly interested in actually hearing what their customers want. And I think we do a pretty good job of that. We are new and we are still learning, but we definitely, the customer comes first, right? And then also I think with us, and I think you can see it in our images, it's all about really celebrating women. It's not about being hypersexual or it's who you are and celebrating you and empowering women. And I think that comes across with our images, and I think it comes across with the messages that we try to send out.
You've gone from just the idea to all of this massive press on social media today. What's in the future for Nubian Skin?
Well, we hope that we sell well, and we hope to continue to expand our retailer base. Obviously, in the US, we got picked up by Nordstrom. We have some great stockists, boutique stockists, smaller online stockists, and they've all been great. And I think we want to continue to grow that, and then we want to grow intelligently. So we've been listening to feedback about sizing. So we're going to be introducing bigger cups and plus size lingerie closer to the end of the year. So we're super excited about that. And there's so many other things that we're working on, which we can't tell you now, but we have been listening to people's feedback, and we are working on a lot of exciting things. So watch this space.
Cool. So how can people purchase Nubian Skin? I know you're at Nordstrom, but how can people purchase otherwise?
Yeah, of course. So we have our own website, www.nubianskin.com, and we deliver globally. And so if you want anything from the collection, we've got it. I think we're the one place that has absolutely everything. Obviously, yes, as you said, there's Nordstrom's, but if you go to our website, we also have a stockist tab. And if you click on that, that has every single location we're in, whether it's online, whether it's in the US, whether it's in Nigeria. We've got all of it listed, and so you can sort of pick either where's closest to you, which carries what you want, or you can order online from us or one of our various stockists.
And you have colors ranging from, is it cinnamon to berry?
It's cafe au lait to
Okay.
berry.
Okay. So everybody go out and check out Nubian Skin. Beautiful, beautiful lingerie. And thank you so much for joining Glamour and Brains today, Ade.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Are you in network marketing and having a hard time earning mid six figures? Well, check out my book, Secrets of a Six-Figure Earning Network Marketing Diva, and read how a homeless single mother went from zero to making mid six figures working from home. Hey guys, I'm giving it away for free for a very, very, very limited time to everyone who joins the Glamour and Brains mailing list by going to www.glamourandbrains.net. Go over there and grab your free copy of Secrets of a Six-Figure Earning Network Marketing Diva and start earning today. Thank you to all our glams for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Also, go to glamourandbrains.net and join our mailing list to get lots of freebies and leave me comments. Also, visit www.simplebeautynaturals.com for all your vegan cosmetics and natural skincare needs.